Welcome to month 2, workout D. I have a lot planned for you today, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. You'll want a small towel roll as well as a bigger towel roll for your head. We're gonna start on the ground in a breathing drill to open up the chest and open up the butt. You're also gonna want a textbook or a low yoga block for our second breathing drill, and then we're gonna transition really quickly to the wall to go into your active warm-up. So you're gonna come meet me on the ground. The goal of this activity is really to open up the chest and to open up the pelvis. So I have one towel that's going to go underneath my head. I'll explain that in a second. And then another towel roll, like a hand towel that's rolled up. You're not going to want it too thick. Ultimately, I want this kind of right underneath the sacrum. So you'll notice that my pelvis sort of just like kind of dumps forward a little bit ahead of it. This towel roll is not very thick. So you don't want this huge arch. It's just a small tilt where you can kind of almost sense and feel like your sits bones hit the ground and your belly button is pointing towards the wall ahead of you. Then I'm gonna have an elevate my head. You don't have to take a second small towel roll and kind of put it underneath here to elevate the neck a little bit, but just to grab that. But either way, if you kind of hit your head hits the ground, you get a lot of this neck tension, you're gonna wanna add something to elevate yourself a little bit just to let that neck relax. So the pelvis should feel like it's tilting forward just a tiny bit and your head should be upright. My chin is slightly untucked, so I can keep my airway open. I take my hand at my sides, or you can drive the elbows into the ground, whatever feels more comfortable for you. We're gonna take 5 to 10 breaths here. I'm rooting through my feet, connecting with the inside edge of my heel and my big toe mound. So I can even, as I press into my feet, kind of feel my hamstrings, the muscles right here. I'm gonna turn it on just a tiny bit. And with my breathing, I'm gonna focus on breathing into my sternum and into my pelvis. So as I inhale, think about these ribs expanding. I don't want to inhale so big that I lose connection with the ground. So as you inhale, even though your pelvis is slightly tipped forward, your rib cage is not flared open. So you're going to feel like your sports bra can stay connected to the ground as you breathe. Inhales into the chest and into the pelvis. Keep going. Envision your pelvic floor just lengthening and opening like a flower. And then exhale it. Remember, this tilt is small, and if you're already in a big anterior tilt, you may not even need the towel. Keep going. So we're essentially thinking about our chest being open, expanding there, and our butt being open, essentially. You imagine yourself in standing. We'll do 2 more together. Inhale. Breathe down into the butt. And exhale. Inhale. Breathing into the chest, making sure that these hip bones stay pretty neutral and one isn't turning ahead of the other. One more inhale through the nose. And exhales out the mouth. Awesome job. We're gonna grab that small yoga block, and we're gonna do this to kind of get a little bit more into the booty. So I'm gonna show you from behind, and then I'll show a different angle. I'm gonna place my left knee on the block or textbook, and I'm gonna think about opening right through here. So this space right through here. I'm gonna drop my right knee towards the ground, but I'm still over the left side. If I just drop it towards the ground, but I'm over here, I'm not over the right. I am wanting to be over that left. This foot is kind of tucked under. And what I'm going to think about doing is just kind of shifting my butt at a diagonal towards the left back corner. And then I'm going to kind of shift towards my right knee. Exhale. And I want to make sure this hip isn't hyped. So think about unhyping the hip a little bit. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come forward. So we're just doing this rock back. We're gonna do about 2 more on this side. We can even play with taking this foot in a little bit and keeping that rock back. Ooh, I feel this nice juicy stretch back through here. And then I just know this is a good angle. Inhale, besides just staring at my butt, just thinking about that diagonal towards the left back corner, and then exhale the right front corner. Now on the right side, I'm going to show you from the front, placing my right knee on the block. I'm gonna think about this left knee shifting long. Watching that my right hip doesn't hike out to this side, because I'm gonna lose that stretch. So give it a little nudge down. You wanna stay long from the rib cage down to the butt. Thinking about this left knee shifting, we're gonna do that diagonal pattern again. So I'm gonna inhale, kind of think about shifting towards the right back corner if we had 4 quadrants, and then exhale towards the left shoulder. Inhale, rock back. Lengthen, exhale, come forward. So we're just creating space at the back of like the hip capsule. And as you do this, I want you to imagine this leg bone, this femur, kind of like you can even take your hands here, just like pushing that back in the hip socket. So a lot of times we have impingement or pain in the front of the hip because this leg bone is just shoved so far forward and we have glutes that are pretty tight and locked down. So you have SI pain, low back pain, pelvic floor symptoms. This is all related. And now we're gonna do that same thing on the right. So you're gonna turn that knee in a little bit, and then you're gonna go back corner, and then exhale, come forward. We'll just do 2 more on this side, and then we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna utilize the wall, and then maybe your small block or textbook. Woo. So you should feel like a stretch, but also like something's working. Now I'm gonna take my little towel roll for a little bit of head support, and I'm gonna go over to the wall. And I'm setting up a little bit different. We've done 90-90s where we're about 90-degree bend at the hips and at the knees. And now we're gonna go into a more of a longer lever. So you'll notice I'm a little bit further away from the wall, a little bit more, I would say 120 degrees. So we're gonna try kind of a longer lever co-contraction breathing. I would say if you tend to grip your glutes, use a yoga block, place it between the legs here so you can kind of squeeze and get these adductors on and keep these outside glutes relaxed. I'm going to envision dragging my heels down the wall, and I'm going to kind of scoop my pelvis underneath me, like I have a couple sheets of paper underneath my butt. So I'm not all the way up here. I'm just kind of right hovering. My rib cage and my pelvis are connected, so I can reach my arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale. The goal here is just to get the ribs in a good position. If you exhale, you get smaller. That's not the idea. We want to think about staying nice and long. If you want to avoid the crunch, you can just take your arms a bit more behind you, which should help. I'm dragging my feet down the wall. This is our exercise. We're breathing here. Feeling this tension in the back of the legs, glutes are relaxed, the hamstrings are working as I pull down the wall with my heels, reaching my arms towards the ceiling. I'm distracting you with the cues. Take 2 more breaths here. Keeping the airway open, exhale. Ribs come back, inhale, and exhale. Now for a little added challenge, if you're up for it, inhale and come up onto the balls of the foot. So my heel slightly elevates up off the wall. Exhale, pull down. It's like I'm doing a little mini calf raise. Inhale up. Exhale down between 5. Really pull down as you exhale. Inhale. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Pull down on the heels. Ooh. Your hamstrings should really feel like they're talking to you. Roll and come into that all fours position. We're gonna do some bear breathing. So if it's helpful to you, you can place the block between the legs. But I really like this. We're gonna utilize just kind of some pushing to get that serratus on a little bit. So you can have the block between the legs if it's helpful, feet dragging up the wall. I have this textbook or small yoga block underneath my right hand. And I'm just gonna think about breathing in this offset position. Couple breaths. Drag the feet up the wall. Inhale. Exhale. Watch that this doesn't just go into your neck and shoulders. Drop the shoulder back and push through the index finger and thumb. If you're really struggling, this might be too high as well. So you can just drop down to something a little bit lower. We'll try a couple pushes. So I'm going to think about inhale as I am in this position. And then I'm going to exhale, think about pushing through the hand and shift up. Inhale down, exhale shift. Do 2 more like that. I'm going to show you from the front. So I'm going to inhale in this position, exhale, push. Inhale. If this is too difficult, just stay in this offset position and breathe. And then think about pushing through the underside of your armpit as you push away. Okay, so I'm just showing you one more, but you can rest. And then exhale, think of pushing through here, this underside of the armpit. And then shake it out. We'll do the other side. I'm going to do 4 to 5 per side. I'm just to show you from this angle. So now your left hand, you're still against the wall. Just showing you from here. Left hand is on the yoga ball. Take 3 breaths. Thinking about pushing away and breathing behind the left shoulder. Your gaze is forward. 1 more breath. Feet are dragging up the wall. Now you can stay here. You can add that challenge of 4 lifts. Inhale, exhale. Inhale down, exhale. Push away. So if you start to wing, inhale. Now push, 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 push. Think about your rib cage meeting your shoulder blade. And down, inhale, exhale. Awesome job. We're going to go into a few adductor rockbacks. So that's just opening up and lengthening this inner thigh. So I'm taking this right leg out to the side, and you'll notice that my foot is turned in. It's very easy to just rock back and not really pay attention. But one thing I want you to focus on is where your belly button is facing. If it's facing open, if this is my right leg, I want to turn my belly button towards my left inner thigh, kind of lock it in. You may notice that your range is a lot smaller. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come forward. Make sure that this foot isn't turning out, so keep it in. And you're feeling some nice length from the back of this left hip. But really the focus is getting this nice inner thigh stretch. You can also hold it and breathe. Remember watching that this turn doesn't happen, so you're turning that belt buckle towards the left inner thigh. And then we'll just switch sides. So just doing 5 breaths here, then we're going to get up on our feet. And as you go back, making sure that you don't flare through your ribs. So you're keeping that nice stack position, pushing through the ground. Inhale, exhale. Last thing we're going to do . We're going to get up on our feet, quick little transition. We're going to do a little bit of an isometric. I know you love me, an isometric lunge. If you need to hold on to something like a foam roller or a wall or something, you can go ahead and do that. My right leg is going to be forward. I'm going to think about my right knee coming forward. If you have knee pain, you don't need to go as deep, but I want you to tune into why maybe we have knee pain. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But that right knee is going to go forward. Think about staying heavy in the heels. I'm going to pull myself down. Wherever you're holding that mid-range position, you can kind of hold the foam roller. If that feels like it's feeling good in your body, and we're just going to take 3 to 5 breaths. If you want, you can think about adding, if you have it accessible, you can think about adding little rotations in your upper body. But for the most part, you can just hold and breathe for 3 to 5 breaths. Heaviness in your heel. And if the glutes are clenched and tucked under, that's when we might feel that low back. So think about this staying open, heavy in the heel. And now we'll switch sides. Holding on to something if you need it. Allow the knee to go forward as the butt opens. Heavy in your heel. Inhale, exhale. Isometrics are great. I want you to feel the inhale to travel down into the pelvis. Exhale, Let it go and shake it out. All right, we're gonna go into a tall kneeling breathing drill and then right into your squat. So you're gonna go against the wall. This can be really helpful. I'm gonna take my yoga block. So in a squat, we need to be able to expand into the back body. So we're just gonna do this one time to prep for our squat. Taking the yoga block, placing it between my palms like so, and I'm against the wall. You wanna make sure you're not clenching your glutes here, so keep them nice and relaxed. Reaching my arms up towards the ceiling. You don't need to go too high, so just stay within the range you have without flaring the ribs. It's like my palms are facing my face. I'm gonna inhale, gently squeeze the block. Exhale, let it go. As you inhale, keep the glutes relaxed. Think about breathing into that space between your shoulder blades. Keep going here. If it feels really difficult for you to keep the glutes relaxed, and you can sit in a little bit of a wall sit position. The tag of your pants is connected to the wall, and you can just breathe here. Inhale, gently squeeze the block. Exhale, let the block squeeze go. Tag of my pants is connected to the wall. We'll do 2 more breaths. Give that tall kneeling as an option. Inhale. And exhale. So with that position, we're promoting more of a external rotation. So that's kind of thinking about being able to, raise arms overhead and take our arms out to the side. So we're going to go into a squat position. So I'm going to bring you over to my squat. And then you'll also want to have weights ready for something like a chest fly. We've never done that before. So something a little bit lighter than your squat. So I'm setting up with my heels elevated. Remember, if you don't have wedges, you can use a yoga mat or just something to elevate your heels a little bit. It's going to help you kind of get a little lower in your squat and have more range of motion. So I'm going to hold my dumbbell. I can hold it like this, or I can hold it goblet style like this. I want to think elbows up. So we just don't want to rest the weight on our chest and have it bring us down. So you want the elbows up. This definitely requires more core control. So if you feel your core, then that's definitely working. You can place the yoga block between the legs. If it does not feel good to put the yoga block there, you do not need to do it. Inhale and exhale at the top. Glutes stay relaxed. And then I think about knees forward, butt back. I'm heavy in my heels. Knees forward, butt back, knees forward, butt back, knees forward, butt back. Inhale, squeeze block, come up. So I can sit to the bench. I realize I'm a little far away, but you can sit to a bench. And I'm gonna think about knees forward, butt back. Inhale down. Exhale. Obviously your gaze is forward. I'm just looking at the camera. Inhale down, just to that box. Squeeze block, exhale, come up. Inhale down. Exhale. Come up. Inhale down. Exhale, come up. In this position, keep going. You're just making sure that your weight is not on your chest. Have it slightly elevated. You can exhale at the top, get your abs on, get the ribs in a good position. Knees forward, butt back, knees forward, butt back. Inhale down. Exhale up. With the feet, thinking about rooting through your heels. Inhale down. You can kind of find that inside edge of the heel. Exhale, come up. You can feel a little bit more outside edge of the heel. We'll do 3 more. I want you to go to 10. So whatever number you're on, zinc inhale. When I come halfway, I want to exhale. Feel pelvic floor lift. Squeeze block. Then push myself up. Inhale down. Exhale. Block squeeze up. So it's like a second delay. Last time, inhale down. Exhale. Pelvic floor lift. Squeeze block. Push myself up. I'm only going down to that halfway position. Awesome. We're going to go over to the wall. So I'm going to turn this around. We're going to go into a chest fly as well as a little pelvis drill to help you feel nice and juicy through the hips. So I have my weights for chest fly. I'm going to grab a yoga block if I need something for support. So I'm going to come into this half kneeling pelvis position. I'm just going to move this a little closer for you. And in this half kneeling position, if I set up and I notice that my pelvis is like this type of thing, I can place a block underneath my back knee just to level myself out. So my back foot is against the wall for support, and you'll notice sometimes I tend to do that. So just kind of control your hip position. And what I'm gonna do is, my left foot is forward, I'm gonna think about opening and turning my belt buckle towards the right. And then I'm gonna think about turning my belt buckle towards my left inner thigh. What we need to happen is this drag on the left foot, and I'm almost like pulling myself into the left. Knee stays towards midline, and then I open up. So I'm doing this little bit of a hip shift into this left side, turning over, so it's like my pelvis is turning over the leg bone, over the femur. And I want you to think about the suctioning, like this leg is being pulled back in the hip socket, and then open up. Remember, keep this glute relaxed, because if the glute is tight and locked down, this is not gonna happen, and it's gonna feel not so good. So dragging on this left foot, and I'm thinking about shifting in. You can use the hand, help, pulling the knee towards midline, and then open up. Why are we doing this? Because if the femur can glide back, and you can open up the butt, get into accessing internal rotation, then your squat is gonna feel better. We did that bear hip shift at the beginning. Hopefully give you that. This is exactly that. We're just in that. And then we'll switch sides. So you notice my right hip wants to sashay out to the side, so you need to kind of control that. So same thing on this side. And I'm gonna think about dragging on this right foot, and I'm gonna turn over this right leg, and then turn away. So I'm opening, like my belly button is turning. My knee is actually coming towards the camera. And then I'm gonna think about pulling my knee back, like I'm suctioning my leg bone back from the butt. Open up, belly button turns. This rotation happens from the pelvis, not your low back, but pull it back, knee towards midline. So you should feel this stretchy sensation in the back of the right glute. Open up, and then close it down. Last one, open up, and close it down. Awesome. So do about 5 per side. Sometimes I lose count. And we're gonna go into the 90-90 chest fly. So you're gonna be in that 90-90 position, feet are on the wall. I have my 2 dumbbells. I'm gonna go too heavy here, probably something a little bit lighter than what you normally do for like a chest press. Once again, if you don't have weights, you can use items from around your house, like 2 wine bottles or peanut butter jars, just something that you think you can use to open up like you're giving someone a big Santa Claus hug. So we have our feet on the wall, pulling down with the heels, sensing those hamstrings, making sure that we are not clenching our butt. You don't need to be up in this bridge position. I sometimes like to envision it like I just have 1 sheet of paper underneath my butt. We're gonna open up like we're giving someone a big hug. Inhale, and then exhale, close the hug. As I inhale, open the hug, I breathe into my chest. I'm not flaring my ribs and dropping my butt, so keep that tuck under. And then exhale, reach, like we did in our warm-up with those reaches. Inhale, exhale. We're gonna go to 10. Inhale, exhale, awesome job. Inhale, exhale. Inhale down, exhale, reach. Inhale down, you get 4 more. So you're going to 10. After this, we're switching up our circuit. You're going to see where those half kneeling rotations come into play. Couple more. Inhale as I open, breathe into my chest. Exhale, close it. Last one, inhale, open. Exhale, close it. Good job. Place the weights down. Be careful getting out of this position. Roll to your side. We're going to think about a lateral step. So I'm going to be up against the wall. I'm going to use my small yoga block or textbook, something pretty stable for this one. And then we're going to go into a row, and I'm going to turn the camera around. So I have a step situated kind of right next to a wall. We're going to think about, if you want to hold on to a wall, I'm going to show you this from behind, about like a hip shift, things we've been kind of focusing on. So I have my foot on the yoga block or whatever it is you have, a low step. And I'm simply just going to think about stepping off of it. And I'm going to have my right hand on the wall. So this is my left side. So I'm just going to think about stepping off and going into what would look like a lateral lunge or lateral lunge step. And what I want to focus on is keeping my knee over the middle of my foot. So you'll notice the knee is over my shoelaces as I step down and step up. Okay, so knee is over my shoelaces. My hand is on my butt cheek because I want to think about this butt cheek growing as I step down and step up. Down, up, down, up. So just think of this like a lateral step hip shift. You're gonna do about 8 per side, 8 to 10, down and up. Okay, from the front, if the step is too much, you can ditch the step and just think about tapping to the side and coming back up. Tapping to the side, coming back up. I'm gonna switch sides because my butt's burning. So if you're doing that, remember 8 to 10 per side. From behind, this butt is growing, knee stays over this midfoot, come back up. Knee stays soft, butt back, come back up. I'm gonna show you with the step. So we just have this lateral step off. And you're doing 8 to 10. You're just focused on staying over this right side as you take a step. So that's why this block should be pretty low. So it's not too much to step off of. What we don't want, or what might happen, is that this right hip jumps to the side. So you can kind of think about putting your hand on this hip, just to give it a little feedback, or hey, you can't jump out to the side. And just step off and come back on. Step off, come back. Go to 10, you should feel glute. If all you're feeling is your quad, yeah, you feel your quad too, in front of your leg, but I want you to really focus on that butt going back and stepping. So you want to feel this length in the butt cheek. Finish your 10 on that side, and then I'm going to turn you around. We're going to go into a row. So you're going to set up with your band on a low attachment. So I have my band here. Obviously, if you don't have handles, that's totally fine. So we're going to go into half wheeling row with alternation. So I'm in short seated row. So you can have your hands reaching towards the anchor point. I'm going to let that left hand kind of reach forward like this. So it's kind of like I'm turning my torso a little bit. And then I'm going to row my right. And then we're going to just on the side actually. You can play with the inhale, sometimes inhaling on the right, breathing into the chest wall. But that left arm's reaching, like someone's pulling me towards the anchor point. And I'm rowing. Let's do 8, and then we'll do 8 on the other side, and then we'll add a little alternation. Do 2 more. Just that arm kind of reaching. And then I'm going to reach the right and row with the left. Think elbow towards hip. Now I'm going to have you reach with the left, row with the right, reach with the right, row with the left. So we're just kind of thinking about that alternation. Reach with the right, row with the left. We'll do 1 more per side. Reach with the left, turn the sternum, row. Reach with the right, turn the sternum, row. So you can stop and show a few more for the video. So reaching with the left, row with the right, elbow towards hip. And watch that you don't dump into this anterior toe in this position. So you want to be seated on your sits bones. Row. Then extend with the right, row with the left. Extend with the left, row with the right. So that's the goal with this. It's just alternating. Awesome. We're going to go back to the wall. We're going to play with a little bit of a wood chopping type exercise. So if you've ever seen these rotations, I'm going to have you grab a yoga block. And then if you need that textbook for the bottom knee. So have my right foot in front of me, my left knee on the block, and I'm going to turn and throw the yoga block towards the wall on my right side. So my right foot is going to be a little bit more extended, not necessarily 90 degrees, a little bit more extended. I'm going to drag on that right heel. So it's like I'm dragging my right foot back in space, but it's not actually moving. And I'm going to think about belly button kind of towards center in this position. And as I come up over it, I'm going to inhale here, drag on that front heel, and then I'm going to exhale, throw the yoga block on the wall. Just be careful you don't lose it. Obviously, you don't necessarily need to throw something, but it could be fun. but it's like I'm turning over this hip. Kind of like we just practiced, okay? You don't have to actually throw it. And imagine you were holding a dumbbell too. We're gonna work up to that. So it's like my pelvis opens and then my pelvis turns over the leg. And we're gonna go on the other side. So you should be feeling this right glute working a little bit as well as the right hamstring. And now I'm gonna do that same thing. This is gonna go underneath my right foot and my left foot is gonna be in front of me. If you can see, and I'm kind of dragging on that left heel, getting some left hamstring. And now the yoga block goes all into my towards my right hip. And I'm gonna turn over the left hip and throw. Woo, gotta get my balance. Inhale as you come across, exhale, throw. Keep going. It's gonna show you something from a different angle. Watching that as you come down, you don't dump into this anterior chair and tilt and flare, so you're keeping that pull on this front leg. So this is why a rotational exercise is a little bit more challenging because we don't want to go up and flare. We want to maintain this stack position. So just get that down, drag on the heel. Last one. Awesome job. Woo. I'm out of breath. All right, we're gonna go into like a gentle inverted position. So I'm gonna take the yoga block, kind of place it. Actually, we'll do like a rock back. So I'm gonna take the yoga block. I'm gonna put it between my palms, kind of like that breathing drill we did originally or a while back. And I'm just gonna kind of breathe in this position. Inhaling into the back. And exhale, let it go. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. Breathing and creating space between the shoulder blades. My hands are like so. Inhale, gentle squeeze. And if that doesn't feel good, you can take a more inverted position so the butt's open. You're doing the same thing. And if that one doesn't feel good, just in this position, you can lay on the ground with this underneath your butt. You're taking a nice passive little posterior tilt and muse towards chest. And just inhale and exhale. Awesome job. And exhale, roots back. Great job today, guys. I'll put the information for the workout below. Please let me know if you have any questions, feedback. I highly recommend taking videos of yourself, posting your form so I can support you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.